Many have certainly been surprised by how the British say timing. And it turns out that on the day we learned that the Princess of Wales was somehow returning to the scene with that photograph published by an American media outlet, a photograph that still generates many uncertainties, I know that many, and I include myself almost among them, think that the photograph in which we see Carol Middleton alongside one of her daughters resembles more Pippa Middleton, the middle sister, than the older sister herself, than the Princess of Wales herself, who has been missing for a whopping 50 days. However, we're not only going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about a curious matter of timing. As we discuss Camilla's disappearance, a Camilla who is evidently without energy, 2, 3, 4 weeks at the helm of the crown alone, has had to take some forced, mandatory vacations. Some British media even speak of her being on leave, a necessary leave because she is without 1% of energy. She seems like a phone that is about to turn off. That's more or less the description they give us of Camilla. In contrast to all this story, we find ourselves with a Charles III whom we see for the first time in the back seat, without anyone beside him. It's quite sad to see how a King of England is going through a tough battle against cancer, and is doing so without the company of his wife, a Queen Camilla, who reportedly has gone overseas, has gone beyond the British borders, has gone abroad, probably to soak up the sun, according to some British tabloids. But it doesn't end there. Many claim that really, in quotes, Kate Middleton has kicked Camilla. That somehow Kate Middleton's return to all this story has made Camilla not look too good. Because why, as we all know, Camilla's figure is quite debated in England, and many are indeed glad that she is no longer, at least physically, at the helm of the throne. But what concerns us today is not only this curious fact that when Camilla leaves, Kate appears, which surely generates quite a few alternative theories about it. But what concerns us today is the significant controversy that is unfolding in England today. There are media outlets, such as OK Magazine, that report the following news. The first royal event in which Kate Middleton will appear after her surgery is confirmed. We were told not to expect her until April. We were told that perhaps things were delayed. The Spanish journalist Concha Calleja had stated that the situation isn't improving at the expected level. Perhaps April is too soon. Well, in this regard, we have an important update, and that is the Ministry of Defence of the United Kingdom confirms the presence of Kate Middleton at a significant event. Specifically, it's going to be in France on Saturday, June 8th. There will be a parade to commemorate the official birthday, logically, of the King, a king who will see how he is by then if he can witness his own tribute, but who has his birthday 1 week later, on June 15th. At this event, as confirmed by the Ministry of Defence, it will be presided over, organised and directed by none other than the Princess of Wales, a figure that everyone wants to see and who will undoubtedly receive all the attention. What happens, or what is the bad news? Similarly, doubts arise as to whether that photograph we saw yesterday corresponds or not to the image of Kate Middleton, or if it's a double, as I've read somewhere, or her own sister, which, as I say, generates many uncertainties. We find many media outlets questioning the information because they say that the Kensington Palace hasn't given the green light to this publication or the information provided by the ministry. Watch out. We even see points of tension and conflict within the British institutions and establishments. It's commented that it's also not entirely clear if the Princess of Wales will appear there. In fact, the official words are that it seems that the Princess's attendance is not guaranteed at this time. That is to say, either someone has made a mistake, or someone has pressed a button by mistake, or simply something strange is still happening with the Princess of Wales. And of course, many will ask, well, what about William? Why don't we know anything about the heir prince now that Camilla is gone? We don't see him taking on more tasks and responsibilities yet. It's a good question. Regarding Prince William, we find something quite curious. I mean, a few days ago, they asked him about his wife, and he didn't say anything. If he was running, he turned around when the journalist asked him, "How is Kate? How is Kate doing? What's going on with your wife?" I mean, it's very strange everything that's happening with the Princess of Wales, but it's also very strange everything that's happening with the people around her. I don't know if you've asked yourself this question as I just told you a while ago, but it's very odd that a gentleman goes to Clarence House. which is the house where he's been living for 20 years, which is the family home, and he does it alone in the midst of his battle against cancer. He went back to London for treatment and did it alone, without the company of his wife. Of course, we know that he has people under his care, assistants, secretaries. He's the King of England, and he won't be lacking in hands or arms by any means. But it's very striking that at such a delicate moment, supposedly making Prince William absent from the Mass organised for his godfather last week, Constantine of Greece, precisely a week ago, last Tuesday, he was absent for personal reasons. It seemed that it was either the health of his wife or the health of his father. We find that his wife has appeared surprisingly according to the various rumours that have been circulating in recent weeks. And we find ourselves with a missing in action William and with a Queen Camilla, who also isn't very clear why she's leaving. I mean, it's one thing to be tired and take a couple of days off, and another thing to go on vacation for a week because you can't handle it anymore. I mean, a lot of people who are logically working from dawn to dusk are going to say how weak, how lazy the British monarchs are. And certainly, I don't think they'll lack reasons for questioning again. There are a lot of questions again because while half of the English press confirms Kate Middleton's return on June 8th, which would be very positive, we find that the other half of the British media says no, that this was a mistake, that the ministry confirmed it, but the palace didn't give it credibility, or didn't endorse it, or didn't confirm it. I mean, again, we have controversy, questions, and quite a bit of controversy regarding what would be the return of the Princess of Wales. Was the photograph published yesterday by TMZ really a coincidence? Was that photograph planned or not? Why do we see so much concern, such a worried gesture on the face of Carol Middleton? Why is Kate Middleton's figure so strange? We see her face much wider. We see a facial cut that, as we've already commented, is much more similar to that of Pippa Middleton. In fact, on social media, many people are saying, "You're not fooling us, we need to know the truth." And certainly, it seems that it's not happening at all. Like I said, if yesterday's events were strange, today's events are even stranger. Supposedly, on June 8th, we'll have Kate Middleton at a public event, an event that will feature thousands and thousands of soldiers. It will be formed by the Irish Guard. I mean, it's an event of the highest order. It will commemorate the birthday of Prince Charles. We'll see, as we've already said, how Prince Charles is by then, but certainly the presence of Kate Middleton confirmed by some media outlets. Not exactly few, as we've already commented. The media outlet okay, but there are many who doubt it. GB News. Well, it's a very strange thing that's happening these days in England. The British press continues to surprise us, and not precisely for the better. And what was initially very positive news, which is to have none other than the return date by the Princess of Wales, as the hours go by and as the news and information progress, we find something very strange. It had been said that Kate Middleton wouldn't take on tasks until told otherwise. We had been given the date of Easter, but we also didn't have that clear. Well, today things are even less clear, and it's surprising, considering it was already difficult after being missing for 50 days, 2 weeks hospitalised, and 2 months without a single photograph of her. Let's remember we had to go back to December 25th, 2023. Since then, we hadn't seen a photograph of Kate Middleton, and the only one we have, as we've already mentioned, still raises many doubts. Many people think it's not her. I hear the comments, do you think it's Kate Middleton? Do you think it's Pippa Middleton? Do you think it's a double? Some are quick to point out that I, logically, don't believe it's a double. I'm not one to give credence to that kind of information, but certainly it's striking what's happening in every sense.
Yesterday, Kate Middleton appeared. Today, her return date was confirmed, and shortly after, it was denied.
The British press is really outdoing themselves, and so are the palaces, because for Kensington Palace to allow information about the Princess of Wales to be published and then not even dare to verify. It is, at the very least, strange, unusual, and something that certainly continues to draw a lot of attention.